Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome back to another vlog. Just killing a little bit of time this morning. I actually have an interview with Austin Tukwa. I did an interview with him back in December, and he's back in Siem Reap for the Chum Ben celebration and festivities. And so he's been up here interviewing a bunch of folks and reached out to me while I was still traveling, and then said that he'd be here until the 25th. So I got back, I was like on the 18th, and so I was still sick up until yesterday. And so I messaged him yesterday saying, hey, I'm feeling better. Sorry about the late delay, you know. And he was like, oh, no problem. He had some other things he was just trying to arrange, and he said that he would get a time slot for me in the next couple of days. I was like, great, no problem. Also, I had coffee with Ryan from Itchy Feet in Phnom Penh just last week, and he said that he was going to be coming up to Siem Reap this weekend. And so then he messaged me yesterday saying, hey, we're getting together with Jeremy and Claire and Austin for pizza. You want to join? I was like, yeah, awesome. And so then I messaged Austin saying, hey, I'm going to be going out for pizza with you guys tonight. Maybe we can, solidify a date. And he's like, perfect. So we went to Lost City Pizza, I think it's called. Great pizza. Mondays, they have a special there. You buy any specialty pizza and you get a, their no-nonsense little cheese pizza for free. So we, Austin and I, he ordered the, what was it called? The Honey Badger. Fucking amazing. And I ordered the, which is what I wanted anyway. So we got out of there for like $6 each. I had a Coke and he had a couple of bottles of water. So it was great. But yeah, we hung out with the group and we got stuck there for another hour because of the rain. It was torrential last night. But anyway, Austin and I were chatting, and so he had a time slot available for this morning. And so I'm a little bit early. So I'm just waiting for him. We're going to meet up here at the Rose Apple Square, which is fucking gorgeous. I mean, look at see what's behind this. This is the view I got. I kind of walked down here because I saw greenery, and I'm like, ooh, I like greenery. Let's go and see what that's all about. I'm still dealing with my cold. I'm lucky. It was in my nose for like 4 days and it drove me nuts. And I felt it draining out of my nose yesterday, and so it's just sitting here. So I have a bit of a tickle and a cough, but it's not horrible, and I'm getting stuff out, which is the dregs of the cold. So another day or so of this and I should be fine. The other thing I wanted to just do a quick chat about was yesterday afternoon, I took myself out to see The Long Walk. It's the latest Stephen King movie to be made. And it's been the story I've been waiting for since, I think, 1984. I've been a fan of Stephen King since I was 12, 13. I stumbled upon The Stand. I was in this mindset at the time that if I was going to buy a book and they were all the same price, that I just wanted big books, because I wanted more from, I'm frugal ever since I was a kid. And so The Stand was one of the biggest books I'd ever seen. So I picked that up, and it was my very first Stephen King novel. And dear God, he ruined me for any other contemporary authors. Even in high school, I was taking English literature courses, and I was talking with one of my teachers about, how I figured that, in 50 years or so, Stephen King would be one of the authors, like one of the great American authors that would be listed as must reads. And she kept on arguing with me that he just wrote horror. And I said, but the horror is a backdrop. I said, it's just the medium in which he's developing an amazing tale. And I said, it's his language he uses and how he describes everything. I said, he can take 10 pages to describe a drop of water to you. And I said, you're engrossed in it the entire time. And she just wouldn't listen for the longest time. And then we were reading one of the novels that was given to us for I was in an AP course, advanced placement, and we had a book list. And one of the books that I was reading just happened to be at the exact same time that I was reading The Talisman. I think it was A Talisman. And the opening pages of that almost matched word for word with this book that was in the list. And it floored me. And I brought them in. And I said to her, so okay, I just want to understand. I said, so you said that he has no respect or anything for American literature and that he's just a pulp writer. And I said, can you explain this to me? And when she saw that he was paying homage and giving respect by telling his tale within the words, but just altering them, but it was the same words. And she stopped, and then she started to read. And then she read one of his novels, and she came back to me like about a week later, and she apologized to me, saying that she had dismissed him because he was a horror writer, and that I just kept on badgering her until she had to cave in, and then she became enamored by it. And now, you know, at that stage, she was like, he is a great author. He's really, really good. And so I felt justified. And so, you know, as a fan of his literature, I was devouring books that I could. And any horror-ish or horror-adjacent books I was getting into. And I'd found one by an author called Richard Bachman. And I was in Tampa, and it was, which one was it? It's not Apt Pupil. It's the one that was banned. It was basically a story of like, it basically was a setup for Columbine. It was the same kind of thing. Rage, I think it was called. I think the book was called Rage. Basically about a young man who was a student, just decides to bring a gun into school and just leave it there. And that one hit me hard. And I said to myself, I'm like, wow, this guy really writes like Stephen King. Because like I found a lot of like just the tempo of the writing, the style was very reminiscent. There were changes. Like it was like either somebody trying to emulate Stephen King or somebody trying not to emulate Stephen King, but it was, right? So so I'd held on to that for a little while. And then Thinner came out. And when Thinner came out, it was released that Richard Bachman was Stephen King. He was writing under an assumed name. And so they came out with a set. It was called the Bachman Books. And it came out for Christmas time. And I think it was like 85. Yeah, it would have been late 85. So it would have been Christmas 85 that came out. And I was given this box, it was a big black book called the Bachman Books. And the first book was Rage. And I reread it, and it still hit hard. And it was, to me as a high school student, it really, really affected me because it kind of creeped me out a lot. And so the next book I was really excited to try, and it was called The Long Walk. That was the very, very, very first time in my life that I'd stopped reading and I was exhausted. The book wore me out. And instead of going to the next book, which at that point was The Running Man, I went back and I reread it again. And I reread it 3 times because there was something in it that resonated with me on a base level. And what Stephen King has done and has always done for me is that he's written tales about boys better than anybody. I think the only one that's come close is Robert R. McCammon. He's written a couple that he can tell the tale of growing up as a boy better than Stephen King can write it better than anybody I've ever encountered. And if you've ever read Stand By Me, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. That one was called The Body in his short stories. But The Long Walk is basically a tale of a dystopian society where it's totalitarian, it's state-run. And he was on a kick with this totalitarian states where game shows are kind of like the conduit for entertaining the masses. And this is like before reality TV or anything like that. And so, man, his fucking finger was on the pulse way back then. But yeah, so it was like basically 50 boys are selected from lottery, and they go on a long walk. And so it's one boy from each state. The story takes place in Maine, so the main character that you get is from Maine. And it's just them walking. They have to maintain a 3-mile-an-hour pace. And as you're reading it, it was interesting because, you know, the boys are starting to bond, and you're figuring this is like a game show thing. And they said, you know, if you slow down under 3 miles an hour, you get 10-second warning, and you get a ticket. And each time you get a ticket, you have up to 3 after your third one. So you've got basically 30 seconds. If you're not moving again, then you get your card. And so I was like, okay, it gets pulled from the game, whatever. And it was very military in its prose, and I was okay with this. And then as I was reading, you realize there's a darker story being told here. And when they get, was it the cards and tickets are reversed? Is that us up there? I think it is. But anyway, when they do get their third card or ticket, the military takes them down. And that first one I read just floored me. I remember stopping reading and just with my mouth open going, what the fuck just happened? So I'm not going to go further into it because it's a story that needs to be read or watched. And I've said for years that it needs to be seen again. It needs to be put on film. And I see Austin. I got to go catch him. So you're going to come with me. So anyway, this is a show. This is a movie that I thought needs to be made. And I've said this for years. And 1 second, bear with me. So I've been waiting. I have been waiting for over 40 years now for the Long Walk to come out on film, because I always thought it'd be the perfect film. Austin! Pretty sure that's Austin there. So I've been waiting. They've done every one of his movies, and even The Running Man. I was like, why would you do The Running Man before The Long Walk? Glad they waited, man, because they nailed it, and they nailed it good. So I think I see our friend Austin. I was deciding to wait down here. Just letting everybody know. I was talking about the Long Walk movie that I watched last night.
Yeah.
So, hugs. Bring it in, brother. I'll see you guys afterwards.
1 million, zillion, jillion, dillion, cotillion times later.
Well, it's been a few days since I last saw you guys. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I'll talk a little bit about it. So as you can see, the river is way higher than normal. And it's going at such a clip that it's hard to describe. We have had a ton of rain the last little while. And just when I thought we're getting over it, I think I know that there's a major typhoon that was hitting the Philippines, and I do believe it was going up to Hong Kong. And I was reading last night that it was expected to make landfall far away from us, but it was going to affect the water down here. And we've been getting a ton of rain, so I'm like, okay. But anyway, you're probably wondering why the shirt's changed and all this. And last we left, I was meeting up with Austin. We're doing another interview for his channel. Ended up becoming a lot more. So you can expect to see a bunch of stuff on his channel. And if you haven't been to and seen anything Austin's done, I'll leave a link to his channel down below. He's a great guy. He has a real passion for Cambodia. Hello. I'm good today, thank you. He has a real passion for Cambodia. He does a lot of interviews with folks. and he has a good sense of humor too. So it was a lot of fun. I got to be goofy a little bit too, so that was good. But yeah, we were meeting at 10 o'clock, and then I had another appointment at 3, and I got done with like 10 minutes to spare. Then after that, once I got home, I got to meet up with Ryan from Itchy Feet, and he did an interview with me for another thing that he does. So once I find out when that is, I will post a link to that on my channel. But it was a very, very, very long day of talking. So I took the rest of the evening off, and I didn't finish this bit off. And then yesterday I was going to, and I was just so exhausted. I was like, I need a day off. So I'm still a little under the weather. I would say it's at like 10 or 15% of what it was. So it's like, it's almost nothing. But anyway, I want to get back to what I was talking about with the long walk. And it's kind of hard to catch up with your train of thought after that. I haven't gone back and watched any of the footage, so I may be saying the same shit again, but oh well, that's what happens. But for me, I knew that I wanted that story, The Long Walk, to be filmed and turned into a movie. I thought it would make a great movie. And I kept on seeing all those other books getting turned into movies. And I didn't understand why The Long Walk never got turned into a movie. It would just kind of made no sense. And I understood that it was like a very personal one for King too. So, but I'm glad they did it. I'm glad I'm at the age now where I am to watch it, because it affected me a ton when I was a teenager, and now as an adult who has quite a few years under his belt compared to back then, it was still as poignant as ever. I'm actually going to go and reread it again. There was a bunch of stuff that was different in the movie, which is fine. I love when they make changes. I don't have any issues with it. And I think one of the coolest things is my hat made an appearance. One of the main characters was actually wearing the hat, and he wore it like this, down, and he had the string that I keep tucked in, holding on to it. So I was like, same color, everything. I was like, mother of God. So I thought that was kind of fun. So I got to see my hat in Hollywood. But they were wearing it in a much different way than I do. I keep on getting the cowboy thing, which is funny to me. It's like, nope, just buttons. But yeah, overall, I thought they did an outstanding job with the movie. Hey, look at I thought they did an outstanding job with the movie. They paid homage to it very well. You know, paid respect, not homage, to God. You know, they paid respect to the novel very well, which I don't normally expect, especially with Stephen King, because if you've ever seen The Running Man and read The Running Man, none of that is even close. The worst one is The Lawnmower Man, which has zero to do with it except for the name. So yeah, I'm glad that The Long Walk was what it was, and it felt like the book, and I felt tired when I was done watching it, and it messed with my head like I wanted it to. It was good. So you get an opportunity to go see it, do it. I'm heading off to go get some grocery stuff because I need some extra bits and bobs for my home, because I'm eating in a lot right now, so which is good. Anyway, if you like the content, if you do, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, if you're still here, so I'm fine, I will post links to another video over here. See you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.